doing it. So with that, we'll get started. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the owner and co-founder of Dressing Roommate, coaching and consulting business, primarily for women entrepreneurs and women creatives. But like I mentioned earlier this week, I've been coaching men this year, so definitely open to speaking with anyone, right? Regardless of your gender, of what is the transformation that you're looking for in your business? What is the transformation you're looking for in your life? How can I be of service to you to help you further achieve your goals? And what did we do this week? So for 7 days straight, I can finally say that, right? For 7 days straight, I took it upon myself to create a self-love live stream challenge, which meant I was going to pick 7 topics that all related to my self-love journey. And like I said earlier this week, what plagues me most likely plagues you. People are more similar than they are different. And tackle it, right? Talk about what are obstacles, and then of course talk about solutions, because I am not the person who you're going to hear just bitch and moan and never have solutions for, because that's bullshit and it's a waste of time. Definitely not out here trying to preach that to you. So I had 7 different topics. What were they? Day 1, we talked about perfection is a fiction. Why? Because perfection was something that I had to conquer, something that I had to work through, because it will drive you crazy chasing after a unicorn that is not here. Day 2, making yourself number 1 priority. Why is this important? As an entrepreneur, I am in the business of servicing others, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through consulting, right? So that means I wake up and yes, I have intentions for myself, but guess what? I also have intentions for my clients, for the people that I mentor, for family members, for loved ones, right? So there's a lot of intentions. There's a lot of things on your to-do list, whether it's your business, your personal life, your career. But guess what, y'all? You are always number 1. Maybe you're number 1, 2, and 3 on your checklist, right? But you've got to put yourself first. Why? Because if you give nothing for you, you have nothing really to give for others. Maybe on the short term, you can get away with it. You can kind of push things to the side. You will eventually stop. It's not sustainable, putting yourself beneath others. You have to start with the right intention and move forward. And you are always the number 1 person in your life. You're the number 1 person that needs to be serviced first, so that you can go and do all the great, incredible things you're doing in your life. Day 3, we talked about the power of no. A 2-letter word that gives us so many problems, heap of problems, as I was saying, is bullshit. It's 2 letters, N-O. And if you can't say it, if you can't use it, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle in your career. You're going to struggle in your personal relationships. You're going to struggle in your romantic relationships. You're going to struggle. So get with it. Embrace the power of no. Say it proudly, say it with vigor. No, 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 no. Or even nope, if you want to take it out longer and extend that. But you've got to start saying no. When you want to say no, say it. When you need to say no, say it. Say no. Day 4, we talked about consuming the right stuff. If you are reading or listening or watching things that make you question yourself, that make you doubt your self-esteem, how you look, how you feel, what you do, would you deem this as a good thing or a bad thing? I would deem that as a bad thing. So cut the crap. Stop reading, watching, listening to it. I don't care how popular it is. I don't care if everyone else on the planet's doing it. Fuck them. Like, really, you know what I mean? Like, I had to really be like, woo, God, Tasha, you're cursing. Yeah, I had to, because ultimately you've got to decide what you've got to do for your life. So if you do not want to read it, watch it, or listen to it, or share it, then frickin' don't do it. But you've got to be a conscientious consumer of content. You've got to be strategic with the content that you're using and taking and like kind of absorbing in your life. That was day 4. Day 5 was great because we had Faith Costa, model, activist, artist. She does so many different things, right? And we were talking about feeding your mind, body, and soul. So again, thank you, Faith, for coming on and joining this challenge. It's the first ever Dressing Roommate 7-day live self-love live stream challenge. And if you want to know more about Faith, you go to faithcosta.com, COSTA.com. And day 6 was yesterday. That's mistakes are a good thing. That was fun. Why? Because we discovered, if you didn't already know, this is something that I had to come to terms with. Mistakes equal teachable moments. So then if you start to think about that, right, as I was saying yesterday, then mistakes are never a bad thing, because teachable moments, what? Give you insight to move forward, give you knowledge that you didn't already know, or knowledge that you knew or but maybe denying or ignoring, right? But either way, they're lessons that are being taught to you. And if you don't want that lesson taught to you, what will you do? You will learn. You will change your behavior, but you will keep it moving. So mistakes are a good thing. And then that leaves today, day 7, which was find and grow your tribe. And this is an interesting concept for me, because growing up, right, I definitely wasn't like super popular. Go figure, right? I was always very chatty, very, very chatty, but I was also that person who you see today right in front of you, which is always demanding the best of myself and always demanding the best of others. And that doesn't always fly with others. For people who want less than for themselves, who are willing to accept mediocrity in their life, then that concept or that approach to life challenges them. It makes them confront something about themselves that doesn't make them feel good, right? And doesn't make them feel comfortable with that. And so I didn't necessarily jive with a lot of people, but as a kid, I always had transposed that back on me and said, oh, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong, instead of thinking these people aren't my champions, these people aren't in my tribe, because there's nothing wrong expecting the best out of yourself, nor is it anything wrong expecting better out of the people in your inner circle. And if they can't and or don't want to be better, then God bless you. And then maybe you can't be in my tribe, right? I can still love you. I can still respect you. I can still champion you and say, hope the best for you. But maybe we can't have these intimate conversations, or maybe we can't meet on a monthly basis or whatever, because you're determined to be negative. You're determined to be bullshit, right? Like whatever label is being attached or thrown there, people, either you have to decide if someone's going to be for you or not for you, and if someone can rock with you on your journey. Because if you're trying to achieve big and bold and transformative things in your life, you really cannot hang around with people who are not in line with that, because it's only going to detract you from your goal. Because with a big goal means you have to have a big mindset. It means you have to be willing to work really, really hard. Anyone who can't be a part of that can't be a part of that. And it's really as simple as that. So let's get to it, right? The people in your life always matter. Always matter. Always matter. I want to be very clear for that, because sometimes I've had people say to me, well, I just have these friends for this and da da da. Now listen, you will have different tribes, and I will talk about this. I found a great article I can't wait to share with you on ladders.com. It's called How to Find Your Tribe Using These 10 Simple Steps by Vernice Armar. She subscribes 10 steps. So let's go through it. First, know who you are. That's key, right? Because how can you build a tribe when you aren't necessarily clear on who you are and what your intentions are for the world? So to find and grow your tribe starts from the foundation of what? You. What do you want? Who do you want to be in this world, right? You have to fill in that blank. You have to set that definition. Second, know what you need. Super important. You don't want just anyone in your tribe, right? You need someone for strategic reasons. So do you need someone who's a good listener? Because if you're the big talker, then most likely you need someone to listen, not someone who's going to be on the same level of talkingness. Because what does that then create? It creates a situation where you guys are like competing, and unless that's what you want in your tribe, most likely, most tribes are filled with people that are balancing you out. So for instance, if you're the quiet one, most likely you want to find a more talkative person in your tribe so that it can motivate you to be more of a communicator, as well as allow you to be that calm, kind of reserved person that you may happen to be. Next, different tribes for different needs. Now, this is an interesting piece of advice. So I think essentially what she's speaking to is not every tribe is the same. You might have a tribe of girls that you meet, every 2-3 months to just like go hang out at the club or like just cut loose, have fun, right? Go wine tasting, whatever. And maybe these women that you hang out, and I'm doing it from a woman perspective, but again, any gender applies in the scenario. Maybe these are women that you just go and cut loose with, right? But you don't want to talk business. You don't want to talk about books. You just kind of want mindless conversation. I'm definitely not a part of one of those tribes, FYI. I'm all business, all books, all day. I can't shut it off. I just live it all. But if that's what you need and that's what you're looking for, then have that tribe, right? As you also may have that tribe of women where you know you're meeting every 2 weeks or every month, once a month, and you're talking business, right? You're talking shop. It's practically like a masterclass without being called a masterclass. And those are those women, right? These are CEOs. These are entrepreneurs. These are founders. These are people looking to elevate a part of their life. And so you like having these women in your life because you are working on your book. You're working on growing your business. You're working on building out this part of your, institution, right? Like, so you can have different tribes for different purposes. For me, I said it was interesting because, like I said, I don't necessarily compartmentalize who I am with people. You get Natasha 24/7, right? So I like talking about business. I like talking about money. I like talking about real estate. I like talking about fashion. I like talking about art. I like talking about beauty. I like talking about empowerment. I like talking about theology. I like talking about a lot of things, and I want in my tribe, or I have rather, and some of the people in my tribe are people who can speak on those different subjects. Maybe you can't speak on all of those subjects, but I don't want tribes where I have to compartmentalize who I am for the group of people I am. That's too much like emotional kind of footloose for me. Like I just want to be me where I go, and you either F with me or you don't F with me, right? Like it's just, that's the kind of tribe I need. I need kind of a more dynamic, diverse tribe than, compartmentalize or, subject matter focused tribes. That's too much to me. Also, next step or next tip of advice she offers is be open to formal and informal relationships. That's key because sometimes someone will be a mentor to you, but maybe doesn't want to be called a mentor, right? They'll just kind of check in with you, or they're willing to give you advice or willing to just like be that listening ear for you, but isn't, again, necessarily a mentor or isn't necessarily someone who is going to, go out and formally say XYZ, right? So just be open and kind of fluid with the types of relationships you're forming, I think is the advice. And I think that absolutely makes sense because you don't know out of whether it's a formal or informal relationship, whether that person will come into your tribe, right? So being flexible is key, right? We can't be too rigid. We can't be too segmented and be like, no, it only has to be this way. So as much as I was saying earlier, oh, hey there again. Love your content. I'd like to do a one-on-one session sometime. Thank you. That's so sweet, Constantinos. I apologize if I say your name wrong. You're so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, just go to dressingroom8.com and then you can just set up a time for us to speak. Love to. Thank you. And I'll add that comment. I'll add that website link for you at the end. So even I was just saying that even for me, even though I was saying that I don't necessarily see myself in kind of like those cut loose tribes, right? And can I say officially that I would never be a part of it? In my mind, I don't necessarily see that, but I have to always be flexible. I have to be open because you don't know what is going to happen from certain circumstances. So am I like a party, hit the club kind of girl? No, typically I'm not, but am I open to going to clubs? Absolutely. I'm from Manhattan. Like, of course, that's like New York City living, guys. But, just being open, being flexible, saying yes to the universe, saying yes to new opportunities is always key because you can, based on the assessments, as long as you're not in danger, as long as it's a safe environment for you, maybe you'll learn something. And guess what? You go for 15 minutes. If you don't like it, F it. Right? Like you go and you have, some fun sushi if you're into sushi, or for me, something gluten-free, right? And you keep it moving. Next, introduce friends from different groups. So that's interesting. As you're growing and kind of finalizing your tribe, it's important that you think about the different people that's already in your network, right? And so you're like, I used to work with this girl and she was really cool. You know what? I never got to hang out with her. Maybe I'll invite her to come join us for this. Oh, you know, this dude, right? And so think about the people in your life already and see how they can all kind of fit, or who fits rather, the tribe that you're trying to build. Next, frequent places you enjoy. So I think the advice there is, life is short. We gotta, when you enjoy things and you want to visit places, like visit the places you enjoy. You don't know who you will meet when you go outside. You don't know who you'll meet when you wake up, right? That's why I love the internet. That's why I love social media. You haven't a clue what's going to happen to you that day. Like Forrest Gump, right? I think that's like one of my favorite lines, where I think what Sally Field says, Forrest, you know, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to expect, right? And I don't have a Southern accent, so I couldn't say it just how wonderful and dainty she said it as. But you know, that's what you need to remember, right? Like, you need to remember every day is like a new blessing. Every day is a new opportunity. It's like think of life as a book, and every day we're turning the page, right? And so you don't know what you're going to read on that page. You haven't a clue, right? Now, what do we think of life? It's the book that we're writing, right? So you have to write the words on the page, but you don't know what to write until you're living it, right? There's some things maybe you're like, okay, we're going to write this, but you don't know the full page. So just be open. Just keep it in mind. He wrote, I have the problem of needing to talk to people, saying to everybody what I'm working on and what I want to do. Sometimes I hate myself when I do it, and I just want to keep everything to myself. Okay, let's see. See myself, how can I do that? Or why do I want to say to my friends and family what I'm working on? And why do I need this human contact with everybody all the time? Why? Okay, that's a really great question. So ultimately, I think there could be a multitude of reasons why you have this compulsion to share, why you want to share what you're doing. First, a lot of people are seeking affirmation from others, right? So when you tell other people what you're doing, what are you expecting? You're expecting an answer, typically, right? And that answer is either going to be affirming that they support what you're doing, or criticizing you, which then in turn makes you want to like defend what you're doing because you believe in it. But it's driven, it's all driven, how we interact with others is driven out of the need that we're seeking, right? So if you have this need to connect with other people, you know, you have to figure out, well, what are you looking for in that person? What I look for in my parents is different than what I look for in my husband. It's different than what I look for in my friends, in my tribe, right? So there's intention with everything we're doing. Now, if you haven't identified the intention, sit with yourself. Why did you have to say that you're working on a business? Why did you have to say, right? What are you looking for? What is the answer, the interaction that you're craving? And then from there, you can then you can assess it, right? And then you can say, well, do I really need to know if my parents support me? Do I really need to know if my friends support me? No, you don't. But as of right now, because if you keep doing it, apparently it seems like you do, because you haven't confronted the idea that what other people say, what other people think it has nothing to do with you. Who gives a shit is really kind of the approach you have to go forward with in your life, so that you reduce the amount of time that you keep talking. Because I think, and it's funny that I'm so glad that you said that, because just earlier today, actually, I was just saying people have to stop focusing on just all the talking and start doing. And I say this because, yes, I'm talking, we're having a conversation, but you have to also do something, right? Intention, I don't know if you tuned in for the other couple of days, but I was just saying, intention has to equal action. We can talk as much as we want to talk, but if you don't do, then all you have is what? All you have is intention. And does that pay the bills? Does intention get you money? Does it build relationships? No, it's just air, words that go into the air and dissipate. So it's nothing, really, ultimately. And so what do we have to do to make sure that our words don't just disappear? Because it has impact, right? What you say matters. But what you say without action is not creating what you intend with in the context for which those words were said. For instance, I think earlier this week mentioned to me that you wanted to start a YouTube channel. So if every day you just go and you say, I want to start a YouTube channel, I want to start a YouTube channel, and you never create the Gmail account, which has the attached YouTube account, will you ever have a YouTube account? No, you will not. Ever. Not unless someone else does it for you, meaning action is necessary to have some type of product, to have some type of movement. So you always, so what you can do is you start to think also if you want to stop reaching out to people and keep telling them what you're doing, why am I doing this? Is this furthering my goals? Is this getting me closer? If not, silencio, quiet, right? Because you can talk all day, but if you don't act, then we don't have our goals, right? And you deserve to have your goals met. So get out there and start to do even more than you're talking. I've seen that advice and I really love that content, right? A lot of people are so concerned about gotta tell everybody what I'm doing. How about you show everyone what you're doing? How about you show them the link to the YouTube account? Why don't you show them every episode you drop every week, right? Like that is killer, right? Because that means you are more serious and you're actually achieving something as opposed to just talking about it. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. I hope that helps a little bit. Okay, and thank you for participating. It takes a lot, guys, to share, when we're having challenges. It takes a lot to do that just publicly. So please applaud him, everyone. That's awesome. That's phenomenal. All right. Next on deck is and this again is the article from ladders.com. Align your energy with others like you. Key, guys. I was just talking about this earlier this week. Please identify the vampires. Please identify the users and abusers in your life. If you don't know how to do that, let's talk, because I have seen plenty. So I definitely have a list of things that I could talk about. And if you want content like that, and I've seen other people put that out, I think it's hilarious because it's so true, right? Are you a vampire, right? Are you out here sucking people's lives away? If you don't know that and you want to talk about that, put that in the comments. Tell me, Natasha, I want you to make a video or let's have a live stream about vampires, real life vampires, outside of mosquitoes, because I consider them real world vampires. But seriously, right? How do we get rid of these people in our lives? Because if you don't, then potentially you could align yourself with wrong people and wrong energy levels. Like I said, I'm here, I'm at 10, right? People are, oh my God, you're so energetic. Oh my, right? And that's because I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I don't have to pretend. I genuinely love talking about self-development. I genuinely love talking about succeeding in your career. I genuinely love talking about succeeding in business, because that's evolution. If I had to classify myself, forward thinking, right? Moving forward is what I want to be about. I'm tired of dealing with the past, tired of having to deal with people who refuse to move forward. Be on the train that keeps going forward. Don't be on that stuck train that goes nowhere really fast. So identify people who shouldn't be near you. Identify the energy you don't want for yourself. Cut the crap out. Real simple. And explore online groups. I thought this was a really great advice. There's a lot of interesting content and a lot of interesting people you can meet on Facebook groups and in LinkedIn groups. So if you aren't aware of any, you want to talk about that, I'm happy to do content on that as well. I'm a part of a lot of really cool groups where I see motivational content, I see thought-provoking content, I see educational content, I also see funny content, right? You know, life is short, we got to have a giggle or two, so as much as possible, really. And so if you're not a part of any of those and you feel like, again, your tribe isn't complete or you're trying to grow your tribe, those would be definitely great resources to consider. Next, try new things that interest you. So for me, right out of the back, when I heard this, I don't know how to sew. Anyone knows how to sew? Please tell me. I'd love to know. I know how to do a little bit of sewing, but I'd like to know how to sew on a deeper level, as well as knowing how to knit. So, I'm interested in connecting with people who do that. I'm interested in connecting with groups about that because it's something that's interesting to me and it's new. It's not something that I know really how to do well. So That would be that. And then be open to global serendipity, meaning the world is very large, y'all. Very large. We don't always have to think about our tribe on a local level. Be like, all right, New York, who's going to be my New York buddies? Like, boom, boom. If you're in Atlanta and you're dope as shit, then yeah, hells yeah, I want you in my tribe. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can take a train, a bus, a plane to you. Like we can make it happen when we need to meet in person. But don't forget about the value of the great minds around the world that you can bring into your life. I think people get a little bit too caught up with the, I need to see you in person to connect. Boom, boom. You can connect over the phone. You can connect over Skype. You can connect over Google Chat. Try to be a little less rigid in how we form this tribe and how we grow this tribe. Because there's some dope ass people out here. And I'm sorry, but they might be 2,000 miles away from you. Don't cut them out because you're afraid that you can't really connect because you can't like shake glasses with them. That's crazy. It makes no sense. So be open-minded and think global. Right? Think global for your business, think global for your life goals, think global. So like, why does your tribe matter? First and foremost, just in case anyone isn't aware what tribe means, according to herahub.com, and Hera being H-E-R-A, hub.com, tribe is community of our own making, forged through authentic connections with others who mutually support and inspire us. When I read that definition, I was like, that is so, like so profound in such a simplistically beautiful way. I'm just like, oh, I love learning, guys. If you don't love learning, like let's talk about that because there's so much growth that will happen once you embrace learning. If y'all didn't know that definition, tell me, because I wouldn't have even defined it as that. I would have maybe, hit on 75% of that, but that's the definition I want to go with. I like it. And just to reiterate, it is making relationships of your own doing through authentic connections with others who mutually, right? It works both ways, not just one way, both ways of support and inspiring us. That's key because I think some people, if they really thought about that definition, would say they support one person and they give to that person, but they don't always feel like that person gives back, or they don't always feel like that person inspires them. That ain't your tribe, boo. That person is not in your tribe then. It'll work both ways, one way and this way, both ways, and mutually supporting, mutually inspiring, not just me giving to you, me do it, right? And I'm both ways. So, let's see. Okay, so, I got some more comments. So, okay. Great. You wrote, I'm from Cyprus. Our native language is Greek. The one thing that makes me suck about continuing my YouTube channel is, do I want to make videos in Greek or English? That is the one question that I did not answer yet. I know what content I want to make, but I do not know if I want to make it in Greek or in English. Great question again. So what does this come down to? Intention. Why are you making your platform, right? What is your message? And who do you want to touch? I think so you have to stop thinking about just the intention of just like, who's going to be attracted to the video, right? Am I trying to be a viral star? You're trying to make good quality content. So if good quality content is reachable and actually, you know what I was about to say? Instead of thinking sometimes we only think in one time, maybe it doesn't have to be one, right? Why not? Why limit yourself? If your message, I don't know what your message is, but whatever your message is, if your message is supposed to be a global message, then why not make it in both languages, right? Why not? Why are you limiting yourself? So think about that. Think about maybe you can, maybe you do it in English and it's in captions and it's transcribed in Greek, or you do it in Greek and the captions are in English, right? Like think how you can be as resourceful and as helpful and as far reaching as possible with your content. So that's what I would say for that. Based on your intention of what do you want to say and who is this supposed to be reaching, put it in that language, but don't discount the idea of maybe making it far reaching and having it in more than one language, right? Because I don't know if you're paying attention to kind of like what's happening with like the deaf movement, but I didn't even realize as a hearing person, it was very assumptive of me that when I go to and enjoy plenty of movies, I'm about to go enjoy some movies soon, not today per se, but generally, I go to movies without even assuming how other non-hearing people are watching these movies. A lot of our movies here in the United States don't have captions in them. And what does that mean? Like, deaf people can't watch the movies. That's bullshit. That's not fair. So why or they have to like wear these like these kind of like not, I don't want to say goggles, but like sunglasses or whatever that gives them the words, but it's how they were how one video was describing it. It just wasn't like a really good alternative. So I think that when you're a content creator, you should think about what are you doing to make sure that your message is as far reaching as possible. I have to think about that myself. Currently, I only produce content in English, but that's very limiting of me, right? Just because that's my native tongue doesn't mean that everyone in the world speaks English. So what do I want to do about that, right? As of right now, I think I'm going to continue to produce content in English, but it's a great point. Thinking outside of whatever just local community you are in means that you can reach more people. So I hope that answers that question for you. Next is, so how can your tribe, just thinking about ultimately, we talked about how do you find your tribe? What are the ways that your tribe helps you? Ultimately, I think it comes down to a couple of reasons. One, it's professional support, right? When we're in our careers, we're trying to learn. He wrote, "Thank you so much. You are incredible. Sometimes the answer is simple, but we keep questioning ourselves instead of making both." Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, thank you for asking the question. I really appreciate you tuning in and trying to, just put your thoughts out there. And I hope everyone learns and appreciates that you asked the question, because you know what? So many people wouldn't even ask the question. So you're killing it. You're a rock star. You're rocking it. So thank you so much. So your tribe helps you professionally. Your tribe motivates you and activates you. I want people in my tribe who make me want to be a better Natasha. Like, what do you mean you haven't read this book? Oh, girl, okay, I'm about to be on it. What do you mean you haven't tried this new class? Oh, girl, I'm going to be on it, right? Like, your tribe is supposed to make you better. It's not supposed to sink you down. It's not supposed to make you, worse. Like, no. Your tribe also, and I think that some people are maybe not necessarily including these people in their tribe, and I've seen it personally. People who make you confront something about yourself, a weakness, right? I think it's easy to be around people that you're comfortable with. I think it's easy to be around people that are just kind of status quo folk, right? They're not challenging things. They're okay just living their life. Like, I just want my paycheck. I'm about to hit the club. I'm about to, just living their life, whatever that life is, but not ever thinking, could I have more? Could I do more? And I understand not everyone wants that, right? I'm very entrepreneurial natured. So for me, complacency is a word that doesn't exist in my mind. It doesn't exist in my household. That's just not what I'm about. I understand that other people are okay with that concept. But if you're not, make sure that the people who are a part of your tribe, make sure that the people who are a part of your life are on that same wavelength with you. Because if they're not, then they're not going to make you confront certain parts about yourself that you need to, that will help you succeed. Meaning, if you procrastinate and all your girlfriends procrastinate, boom, boom, they should definitely not be in your tribe. Because you're never going to stop procrastinating. Jesus Christ, right? Like, Jesus. If you are trying to spiritually evolve yourself, maybe you grew up one religion, you're trying to change, and you want to go to a Buddhist temple. You want to explore Judaism. You want to explore the Muslim religion, right? Whatever it is you're trying to, maybe you're exploring atheism, right? Like, whatever you're exploring, if you have friends who are like, oh, I could only pray to Jesus. I could only, you know what I mean? Like, if they're very religious and rigid about spirituality, which, listen, we've all got to set our line in the sand. I'm a free bird. I like to, like I said earlier this week in the challenge, I want to understand many different religions, because ultimately, yeah, I have Christian roots and I have a strong Christian kind of grounding, right? But it doesn't mean that I can't learn from people who are Buddhist. It doesn't mean I can't learn from Hindu people. Like, what? So if your people around you are shaming you for exploring something, boom, boom. They can't be in your tribe. No. Pray for them, but they can be in your tribe. Okay? They're people to lean on. Now, granted, I was raised in a way where it's like, you hold your problems and nobody care if you're tired and sad, right? Like, but I have acknowledged in this challenge that that's not maybe the healthiest way to approach life. And that sometimes you do need people to lean on, right? And I am fortunate, I have a really strong support system in my husband, but not everyone has like a great partner, right? Not everyone, even emotionally, maybe relies on their partner. Maybe they have friends for that, right? Or whatever. That's a whole different conversation. I can't with that right now. But if that's something of interest to you, let's talk about that. Relationships are interesting content that can really be generated there about that. But ultimately, you've got to figure out what are people that you can truly trust, which that takes time to assess. That's not a 1 weeker kind of way that you just, they were great this weekend, I can trust them. Gotta take time, really ask critical questions, see how they act under certain circumstances, really be analytical to determine if someone can be trusted. And can I lean on them? Those are two separate questions. So making sure that you're asking the right questions, seeing how they respond, seeing how they behave around you, what they say behind your back, how they support you. Do they support you? Do they champion you? Right? Like really being analytical when it comes to the people that are in your life, because that's how you start to form and build that tribe for yourself. And then, also I think a lot of people feel very lonely. I think a lot of people feel like they're on an island by themselves, which is really sad because they're not, and islands are beautiful, but you're not on one by yourself, hopefully. And if you feel like that, challenge that feeling. Why do you feel this way? Are you connecting enough with people in person? Are you connecting enough with people online? Are you doing things that you love? Challenge that by forming the tribe around you so that you don't have to have that feeling anymore, right? That we're in this together, guys. So with that, just last minute comments. I know we're a little bit over. Thanks for everyone tuning in. Remember that nothing lasts forever. So when I titled this today, Find and Grow Your Tribe, I just wanted to also remind you guys that sometimes the people in your tribe will change, right? Nothing lasts forever. Nothing stays the same. Nothing, right? Do you look the way that you looked when you were born? No. You grew and became a whole person, right? So keep that in mind as well. Sometimes we lose people. Sometimes people drift away, right? Sometimes you made a bad judgment call, right? Which was not a mistake. It was a teachable moment. And you learned, you know what? I need XYZ, not ABC next time in my tribe. And so as we're having shifts for the tribe, whether it's a personal tribe, business oriented tribe, other type of tribe, right? How many other tribes you're building. If you're building one, then that core one, or if you're segmenting, right? And you have a couple, cool. Remember that people float out and in and of our lives. And so we just got to make sure that we continue to keep in alignment with our goals, and our goals will change, right? What you wanted at 10, I highly doubt is what you wanted at 20, and highly doubt that's what you want at 30. So as your goals are changing, is your tribe in alignment with that? Because if it's not, you need to make some changes, right? You need to shift things up, might need to do a bit more networking, a bit more connecting, growing, and getting some people in here to help as you evolve, as you grow, because that's what life is about. It's about evolution. It's about growing. Whether or not you want to move forward, you have to. Just have to. So every day, you're growing, you're changing, things are happening. Is your tribe growing with you? So just think about that. Next, try new things as well, even things that you didn't even know you wanted. Some of the most surprising things will happen to you when you really release that friction that we have of saying, I can only do X, Y, Z. If you release and say, I am open universe, I am open world to trying new things, to meeting new people, you will invite some really interesting glory into your life. And so be open for things that you don't even know you need, so that you can also put in some people in your tribe that you would have never thought could have been in your tribe before. So just being open, remember that. Proper mindset, right? When you think closed off, then you will make closed off decisions. And then what? Your tribe will not grow, and neither will you. So proper mindset, it all begins here. And okay, so Constantinos, you can, what you can do is you can just fill out the schedule a session, and then from that we can have an initial call. Okay, so just fill out the top part, and then that's how we can speak. Okay. And then I'm just going to end with also be fearless. Be fearless with how you tackle life. Be fearless with how you explore new, exciting, different, new things for yourself. Okay. And with that, that brings us to the end of our 7-day self-love live stream challenge. So thank you for everyone who's tuned in. Thank you for everyone who has participated. Thank you for everyone who's posted. If you haven't posted, again, the second part of the channel, the first part is always to watch the video, right? Tune in, talk to me. Second part, go and do your own live or post a video, or even as Faith Costa just kind of shared, yes, was it 2 days ago? Yeah, that she said, you know, she's going to do like a compilation video, right? So just, again, talk about the subject that I talked about for the day, or figure out if something's more in line with what you need for your self-love journey. Go ahead and talk about that. It can be 5 seconds, it could be a minute, it could be an hour. You decide. It's all up to you. It's all about what you need for your self-love journey. Share this video, please. I greatly appreciate, again, everyone's support, everyone tuning in. It's the first time I've ever done this. I feel truly just opened up about some of the things that I'm dealing with for my self-love. Happy to share my wisdom and insight for things that I've learned so that I can conquer the vampires, conquer some of the negative thoughts, conquer the bad behaviors that we all have to conquer to excel, to move forward, to be the best versions of ourselves and live our best life, right? That's ultimately, I think that's what that hashtag's all about. That, like, are you living your best life? If not, figure it out, figure it out. So, and then also don't forget to tag Dressing Your Mate and use the hashtag MySelfLove in your posts that you do. And with that, I just encourage you to keep doing the work, keep moving forward, keep challenging negative thoughts for yourself, keep challenging negative people, keep challenging things that don't make you feel good, because you deserve to be loved. You deserve to feel powerful and capable and able to do everything you want in this world, because you can and you will do it as long as you're willing to put in the work. So again, thank you for tuning in. Share the video. If you want to talk to me, go to dressingroom8.com. I do free consultations so that people, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'm happy to be here to, help you with a game plan, help you with understanding how you can set yourself up for success. All right. So I'm going to put that in the comments. And with that, just much love, much appreciation for you, your time. And, if you want to see more of my content, dressingroom8.com. You'll see my schedule. Just let's talk. All right. So have a blessed Sunday. Bye, guys.